Well, the backlash is growing after Major League Baseball warned several San Francisco Giants players against writing Bible verses on their hats during a Pride Night promotion. The Department of Justice has now opened an investigation, writing to the MLB commissioner this: the Civil Rights Act prohibits MLB and its franchises from unreasonably burdening the rights of players with religious objections to serving as the league's vehicle for pro-Pride messages. Federal law is clear. Employers must modify their uniform requirements to reasonably accommodate their employees' exercise of religion. But a Giants announcer is pointing the finger at the players. Very different vibes in Texas last night as well, where the Rangers held a faith and family night. Many fans there backed those Giants players. Watch.
Family means everything to me. Definitely my boys, my family. I'll do anything for them.
Yes, I don't think that they should be punished for putting Bible verses on their hat whenever they're being told to put pride logos on their hat already.
I think it's about recentering on what a rainbow means. It's a promise from God that He would never flood the earth again.
Everyone has their own belief system, their own faith system, whether it's for Pride Month or for religious beliefs, and I think we all should be allowed to support what we believe in.
Meanwhile, players on a Pennsylvania minor league baseball team are taking a stand. The York Revolution had to forfeit a game this week after some players refused to wear special jerseys for a Pride Night promotion. Comedian Rob Schneider wants Christian athletes to know that he's got their back. He says that he and Turning Point USA will pay any fine for any player in any professional league who is punished by their league for refusing to be forced to participate in woke leftist agendas. Kaylee, this is a lot going on, and it's not new. It seems to happen every year. Talk to us about the legality and what you see is the pushback and the acceptance of it.
So the EEOC will rightfully be looking at this. Title VII requires that employers reasonably accommodate people's religious beliefs. But I think it's more than just that. Josh Hawley, in his letter, points out that there has been like a waiver, essentially, of antitrust provisions that would typically apply, but have not applied in the case of MLB. And there's been people who have been questioning, you are a trust. Why are we waiving antitrust provisions? And he says you have a unique responsibility. If we are waiving parts of U.S. law to accommodate MLB, to give us an answer as to why you are going down this path. He's exactly right. He is demanding for the last 5 seasons to know any time there has been a uniform accommodation, and he wants an accounting of that. He's demanding to know the conversations around BLM and United for Change and some of these other campaigns that MLB has proactively supported. We know in 2021, players wrote SOS Cuba on their hats. Why were they allowed to do that? Were they warned? I'd love to know. BLM, there were waivers of the equipment rules so that people could put BLM slogans on their cleats. You can't have 2 standards in this country. And MLB says, look, we weren't targeting religion, but it sure feels like that when we have all these other examples, and we have not heard of warnings with those examples.
Laura, one of my favorite, I always love the internet's reactions to things like that. One of my favorite comments was, it's MAGA now. How is this stuff still happening? To Kaylee's point, I thought we sort of settled this in the courts and out, and it seems to be rearing its ugly head again.
Yeah, well, the Democrats are going to keep fighting to make us all more tolerant, right? That's what they claim. Yet tolerance, of course, goes both ways. And I think a lot of these people, whoever it is making these decisions for the MLB or the other sports, as Kaylee just pointed out, would do well to remember that. And much like our freedom of speech, you have to protect and allow other people to share what they believe in and what they want to say. And you should actually fight more for the opposite viewpoint. That's, how we have always been as the United States of America. But to your point, Kaylee, this is not an isolated incident. James O'Keefe just exposed the Washington Nationals a couple weeks ago with some of his hidden camera video, actually talking outwardly, an official, about not promoting on social media players with which he disagrees politically. Yep. So this is not happening in a vacuum. It continues to happen. And why it happens, Emily, I would love to know. We should have learned our lesson by now on this. It is wrong. And I'm so happy to see that you have other, leagues and other games and other players stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, we're not going to stand for this. We're going to make our voices heard, and we're going to be proud to do so.
Yeah, the Hockey League certainly set that example.
Yes.
Joey, your thoughts?
Yeah, I tried to get a little bit more information on this issue. So I guess the MLB has a standard rule against, basically augmenting your uniform, like writing something on it. I remember famously David Wells, if you remember him, pitcher through a perfect game. He bought one of Babe Ruth's Yankees hats at auction and wore it like 3 innings through a game. They're like, hey, that's not your standard hat. You got to change it out. If they were consistent, like the examples you were given, it would be one thing to say, hey, listen, okay, you don't want them handwriting stuff on their uniform, allow them to wear a hat that doesn't have a rainbow on it. Like, make an exception because you're asking them to celebrate something they don't believe in or believe in celebrating. And in our society, there's a difference between acceptance or tolerance and celebration. We accept, and if your religion or personal values are against, tolerate same-sex marriage in this country. The Supreme Court has made a decision. Congress has yet to act in a way that makes it illegal. It is legal, and it's a part of our society and part of our culture now, same-sex marriage. However, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to celebrate it. That doesn't mean everyone doesn't have their own opinions on it or, through their religion, their own convictions on it. And to make people celebrate something that is still debated in the public space in this country, I think is just anti-American, regardless of how you individually feel about it. They wrote Genesis 9:12 on there. They wrote a Bible verse that tells God gave us the rainbow to let us know He's not gonna wipe us out again for our sins. It's all about forgiveness. It's a covenant with God. How does that even offend you to begin with? They're not writing on there, something negative or derogatory about the LGBTQ community. They're giving their own idea of what that rainbow represents for them if you're going to make them wear it. Understand abiding by a rule across the board. Hey, you're not going to write on it. But if that's the case, and I think if I understand that's what this letter from the Justice Department is saying, is then you have to accommodate them to not have to wear the rainbow during this time as a celebration specifically of Pride Month. And I think that that's not too much to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the legal side of things is, of course, very important. My understanding of it is that an employer must accommodate religious expression unless it creates some sort of undue hardship for rules being applied evenly. So the federal government is going to say this is free speech. The MLB will likely say this is an undue hardship, and that's all going to play out. But I think culturally, J.D. Vance hit the nail on the head. I think a lot of conservatives, some independents, and maybe even a sprinkling of Democrats will agree when he said, Trump won, we don't have to do this anymore. And what he's getting at is that this is a virtue signal. And, it's one where it's interesting because baseball fans typically lean right, and this is San Francisco, which leans left. So maybe they're trying to accommodate their audience and their fan base. But I think that a good way of avoiding this is just by not having these uniforms anymore. And if you want to help the LGBT community, put that money towards the baseball hats and the uniforms towards a charity and use that money for a greater good where you're not forcing anybody to wear something that they're uncomfortable with. And then I think everybody would be satisfied with that.
I'm from the Bay Area, and I'm an A's fan, clearly. But I noticed a lot of the newspapers, and periodicals sort of around in the Bay. I know I'm using outdated terms here. But they were first of all, absolutely lambasting these players. But there was one op-ed where they wrote that the Giants, so that the team, are supposed to be a pillar of a place that gives swaths of queer people a safe haven. They're supposed to lead everyone here by example. And they went on to say the fact that they've done nothing to address the despicable actions of these Giants pitchers, they're dropping the ball and letting down the community in the process. And I wanted to share that with you all because it illustrates to me how deeply I think it sort of seized these teams and these symbols are to communities that seem to be living in decades past. And the concept that somehow once you put on a uniform, you automatically mean X, Y, Z, like that's a very individualized opinion on something that's frankly a corporate franchise. And I've noticed too that all of these professional leagues seem to be hijacked by different corporate interests as we see each month, whether it's, for breast cancer in October and it's beautiful and there's all of these positive things that we see, but I note that the players don't have choices no matter what. So whether it's pink and camo and those are things that everyone is behind.
In this, then you have to be willing to let somebody not wear camo during Veterans Day.
Yeah, but just to say that when it infringes upon religious, this is a whole different ball game, if you will. And it seems that when it's shoved down the throats of those wearing the uniforms, when it gets into this gray area, there's zero option to exercise out, and the community is offering zero understanding of that, which is
Players are heroes.
I'd be okay if they took the
Bottom
camo
line.
away. I think they overdo it. I think it's a little bit cheesy at this point. Just bring out some dudes and gals that have served their country and celebrate them before the game and go play ball.
Yeah. Well, look what Phil's Coffee, what they did in the Bay Area. They took down their prides up there. Like, it's fine. We don't need to. You guys know we support it. We don't need to sort of dabble in the commercialism of it to show support.
And those players stood up for something that is against their self-interest, financially, perhaps could ruin their careers. And I applaud them. I think they're heroes. They put scripture on their caps, and man, you have a lot of people cheering you on. Maybe not in the Bay Area where they call
I
you
wonder what their
despicable.
jersey sales are this week.
Totally.
Oh.
Great question.
Good question.
And yes, heroes of faith for sure. All right, guys.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.